All
You have to check the
I
box
did.
on the top. It says, and then boom, you should.
I did.
Yeah. All right, guys. How are you? Welcome. And guess what we're doing tonight? It's Retrobots. Yes, sir. And tonight I have my brother Segaman 101, and we're going to play none other than Guardian Heroes, the classic Sega Saturn gem by Treasure, I believe. And here comes a new hero. And it says someone wants to join your session. I said yes. And basically we're going to try to do a throwback here and make sure you come in, Sega Man.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
Yes, sir. Introduce yourself, like always.
This is your boy,
gonna...
Sega Man 101. What's going on, everybody? With my partner in crime, He-Bot and Segaman. Enjoy this old school beat 'em up. Guardian Heroes.
Guardian Heroes. Are you picking your character?
Yes, yes. Let me see here. Who you? The blonde dude?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I actually wanted to pick the green dude.
Well, can't you go back out and pick him?
I don't know.
Back out and see if you can pick him.
Nah, that's okay.
All right, let me see. What's this girl? Is this girl any good? What's her name? Let me see.
It doesn't even say their names. Guys, Retrobots is about playing old school classics that are preferably.
I'm gonna try the chick, man.
Okay.
She was laughing. She said,
Yeah, she did a little. Retrobots is basic. The idea behind Retrobots has always been to go back and play. You gotta press the button, Segaman, A or start. To basically, first of all, welcome to you guys. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by, whether it's now live or later. But the idea behind you gotta press the button, Segaman, so it could go in the game.
Ready?
Press. Yeah, just press.
All right.
The idea behind Retrobots is to play old school retro style games, such as this, for example, and to kind of talk about it, reminisce, give some insight on it, give some history as we're playing the game. For those who may not have played it, may not know about the game, and preferably that there be like co-op, because that way we can play together as we're basically talking and playing about this particular game, whichever game it may be. In this case today, it's Guardian Heroes. So Sega Man, how are you? How's everything?
What's up, my brother? I can't wait to get into this game, man. This looks like this is gonna be a good one. It was on the Sega Saturn. Never got to own it. It was way too expensive. You can find that now on eBay for like $350.
Yeah. This was one of the first gems that came to the Sega Saturn, and I remember when I first played this game, it caught me off guard. I knew it was going to be good because of the pedigree that the developer had, especially at that time, because remember they had done games like Gunstar Heroes, which was a tremendous hit and very critically acclaimed on the Sega Genesis, especially for that time. So, the fact that they were making it, I knew it was going to be pretty special, but I didn't know how much I was going to actually enjoy it and fall in love with the game, because it's actually, till this day, one of the best co-op RPG action hack and slash ever made, in my opinion. The game has a lot of different endings. It has about 7 different endings. We're obviously right now playing the remix version of the graphics, meaning they're a lot more smoothed out, and they remastered or remixed even the music itself. I don't know I'm trying to see if, because I don't hear the music, but I'm not sure if I turned it off.
I don't hear the music either. I can just hear the sound effects. That's it.
Right? Right,
Yeah.
right. But I don't know if I can fix that. Either way, basically
I just hear them.
game,
Yeah, you know. You know, hear their.
yeah, yeah.
It ain't on my
game
side, is it? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think maybe I didn't put up the volume. Hey, I think I left. Did I leave? Is that what I did?
Did you leave?
Yeah, I think I left. I left.
It's just me. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, this is the prologue of the game. You gotta kind of beat them up and walk outside. So basically, they mixed in this game with RPG elements where you can basically, obviously, level up as you're playing. It has a story that plays out with each of the characters, and as you're going along and playing it, it also introduces new characters that unveil and that get unlocked and that you can use as you're playing a game. Come this way real quick, Segaman. Let me see something.
Hey, can she run, brother?
Well, they can all run. You gotta press forward on the D-pad. You see? Press forward on your D-pad.
Yeah, there we
see?
go. Yeah.
And then to go into the layers. This was one of the first games where you can fight and go from front, middle to back, as far as the environment. As you can see, I'm all the way now in the back area.
Yeah.
You know, which was very innovative for the time. I don't remember what other game even had that or introduced that in the hack and slash genre. In the hack and slash genre at that time.
Be nice to hear some music, man. I don't.
But you don't hear it. Let me ask you, what was your first? How did you discover Guardian Heroes? You per se, you yourself.
Oh well, to be honest with you, man, I've seen it. A long time ago in the store. When I was, gone to look around for some games to collect for the Sega Saturn, and it was really expensive. The U.S. version was like, back then was like $100-something, and I was like, nah, I didn't. Well, yeah, I seen it, man, but I just.
You never bought it during the actual generation of the Saturn? Is that what you're saying? Oh. Was it because you just didn't know it was supposed to be a good game, or just?
I mean, it looked like a good game, but it was just out of my price range back then, man. You
saw it for $100 when you first saw it?
Yeah, $100-something.
Yeah,
I didn't see it for like 50, 60. I don't know if it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, when it came out, it was only $50 or $60.
Well, see, I must have noticed it later on. I must have caught on to it later on.
Gotcha.
Back then, the games that really interested me for the Sega Saturn was usually like shoot 'em ups or mostly fighting games.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would go right in to try to look for that stuff. Not knowing Guardian Heroes. Till later.
As you can see, guys, that when you're playing it, it tells you a story, and then it tells you to pick from the three or four different responses that become different outcomes, and depending on what you pick, that determines where you go next in the world, what level you go in, and what quest you go in next, and how you approach it. The game has like 7 different endings. It does has like 7 different endings. So it definitely has replay value, as you can see. And the combat, it has a lot of different combat. But you have to learn how to uncover it and discover how to do them yourself. Yeah, we're just skipping for the sake of the game, right? The artwork is still very beautiful. It looks like painted art.
Yeah.
Water paint.
Now, He-Bot, I got a question. Remember when I told you in the beginning we were doing this, the music was loud? I turned mine down. So that didn't turn yours down, did it?
don't think so. I mean,
That's what I mean. You should be able to hear it, not me. But I was wondering, I don't even think I can go into settings and turn it back up a little bit because we're already in the game.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think so, but it's okay. We can talk. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good. At least we won't get. See, it says he stopped. You think? And they're talking a lot.
Yep.
This is how we got this. Yeah, yeah. We he says you get the golden. So these are the graphics are like they look 3D, but all the characters, if you notice, they were all painted like in water paint.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was a tremendous sleeper hit for the Sega Saturn, but it didn't. I think it didn't do the numbers, you know, as far as sales, right? Because the Saturn was not selling, obviously. I think it did fairly well or better in Japan, for example. But you know, the Saturn was really struggling to find its edge or an audience in America due to a lot of the stuff that was going on. You know, as you know, particularly the console being a little more expensive because they couldn't afford to bring it out cheaper to compete with Sony because they already had, you know, issues economically within the company itself with the failure of what happened with the Sega CD and with the 32X, right? And the other part was that, you know, Sony came in being a behemoth and a giant as far as having money because they were an electronic company, and they basically went and bought out all these big third-party publishers and developers and made a lot of games to the PlayStation console be exclusive to only the PlayStation at that time. You know, with you know, like games from Konami and even Eidos and JVC and a lot of companies, even Data East, you know, just Capcom. Because Resident Evil, for example, 1 and Tomb Raider was originally supposed to be exclusive to the Saturn, you know, in the first place. And then, you know, they kind of jumped ship when they saw the Saturn wasn't doing well in sales, and went with the other, you know, it's Sony, because they paid them a nice big check. Even though later on, I guess they bought like an exclusivity, timed exclusivity. Even though later on, you know, because of that timed exclusivity, the games made their way to the Saturn and even had like better versions of those games. But what that allowed though at the same time, Sega Man, was, like I said in the podcast we did a few weeks ago, it allowed Sega to kind of dive in and be more creative creating new IPs or introducing new IPs, and not just their arcade hits or their existing IPs that people, you know, discovered, you know, in the Genesis era. You know what I'm saying? You know, but Genesis really had so many good games that came out and new IPs that people were yearning for, you know, like Shakan, the Forever Man. You know, people wanted a new one that was in the making and never came out, or a Green Dog, you know, or a brand new Streets of Rage. You know, we all wanted a Streets of Rage, and it didn't happen. So this was kind of a good replacement for it. My belief is that this sword belongs to the great heroes. Oh, you pressed it. You know what I'm saying, Sega Man? Hey, brother, Sega Man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You know, I had that game, Green Dog. I have it.
Yeah. That's like with the surfer dude.
Yeah, that was cool. A lot of people didn't like that game back then, but I also have it on the Game Gear.
Right. Well, it was also like the other one that they had, Vector Man.
Yeah.
You see, guys?
Yeah.
You see here, guys? I says, blah. Let's go back to town. Or then it says, there's a safe way. There's a safe village nearby. And then it says, the wild woods will shelter us. So, what should we pick, Brother Segaman?
You pick, man. Go ahead.
There's a safe way to the village. Let's pick the Wild Woods. Will shelter us. Let's see. So basically, yeah. So my team in their Wild Woods, and he's gonna tan, and I hide when they find out about us. So you know, this was a good supplement to kind of hold us by until you know, something like Streets of Rage came out. But because the Saturn, you know, didn't have a long lifespan, I truly believe that that's why we never saw Streets of Rage on the Sega Saturn. Even though that game... Go ahead, Segaman, you can press start.
Ready? All right.
Yeah, even though that game... Fighting Force, I think it was? Remember that game?
Was it Fighting Force?
That was in 3D, remember that?
Yeah, Fighting Force. I think that was in 3D.
Right. See how beautiful the graphics are and the sprites mixed with the softness. A lot of nice you know, enemy variations also. Yeah, well, that game Fighting Force, Sega, man, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be the... Oh, look, if we go back there, I think we can hit that Prime Mantis thing that looks like Little Shop of Horrors.
Looks like a Venus flytrap.
Yes, that. The Venus flytrap. It was supposed to be the new Streets of Rage in 3D that they were making, because they were trying to do Streets of Rage for Saturn in 3D, but it wasn't working out. It wasn't transitioning correctly.
Oh.
So then yeah. So they weren't happy with the results. So it ended up becoming a new IP, a new game called Fighting Force. It's a little fun fact. I don't know if you knew that, but that's what was happening, and that's what happened with that game particularly. It turned from, you know, what was supposed to be a Streets of Rage, you know, in 3D, became basically a new 3D IP in that generation, because they even brought it out for the PlayStation, if you remember correctly.
Did they have a prototype of that game though?
Yeah, no, it was playable. Remember, you could just play it in. It came out to PS1 and the Saturn.
I mean, did they have a prototype of that Streets of Rage in 3D?
I believe so. Yes.
I wish I could have seen it.
I think it's if you look it up, Streets of Rage Fighting Force prototype for Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
I think it'll come up. You'll be able to find it, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of like in the same stages, like, you know how Sega released, the never before released Golden Axe that was supposed to be coming out, that they were working on, and they just released the demos not too long ago, where you can play it on PC. About the sound effects about this game when it sounds like you're...
Sounds is going crazy in my ear, man.
it'll sound like you were punching like these really loud things. I love that sound. I love that sound in my hack and slash and in my beat 'em up. Oh look, I'm kicking him in the face. Take that punch to the face. So yeah, guys. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, this was basically what we had to hold us off for, you know, until we got a new Streets of Rage. But little did we know that made, or you know, format. So now, and I don't know if you did you?
Huh?
I don't know if you knew about that. Did you?
You're breaking up a little bit there.
No, I said I don't know if you knew about that story with the game, you know, Fighting Force.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of Fighting Force. I don't think I ever owned that.
No, no. Oh, I don't think it's expensive either because the game wasn't really that great. And I could understand after I played it why Sega didn't approve it. You know, they weren't happy with it.
Was that on a Genesis?
No, it was on Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1. It was actually supposed to be Streets of Rage 4. But
Fighting Force. I might have had that.
Then they repurposed it and turned it into a new IP and called it Fighting Force.
Yeah, I might. You know what? Now that I think about it, I might have had that game.
In the cover,
it has a dude on the front of it, right?
It has a black guy, a white guy, and a chick, I believe, in the front cover. But it's like a red and kind of whitish. The color, the color on it. Oh no! Look, you found the sword cannon. The gray will stop nothing. So this is how the story comes out and plays out in dialogue and dialects form. Very old school style. Beautiful level right here, as you see. Sorry, these bushes are taken. Look, I move his mouth 100 miles an hour. A mage. Now, why would you be cowering in the wild woods, unless you've been naughty? Take him away. Uh-oh. It took the old man away, the wizard. That's not good. So this game kind of takes place, obviously, in like a Knights era time. Willow type era. These crimes must be punished right now.
Fighting Force 2.
I think they made a sequel to that too.
That was on Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah, I believe so. Fighting Force 1 was supposed to be, like I said, the entry for, Streets of Rage, but in 3D.
Right. And that's the game you say that was on the Sega Saturn?
Yeah, it made its way to Sega Saturn because it was supposed to be the next, Streets of Rage. But then they repurposed it and turned it into a new IP, the publishers and developers, because Sega wasn't happy with the end result. So I don't remember if it was IDOS, the publisher, or what, but all I know that it came out for, it came out for PS1 and Saturn also. Keeping in mind, keeping in mind, of course, that other games like Destruction Derby, Battle to Shinden Arena, Wipeout, all those games made their way onto the Sega Saturn as well. Just very late in the cycle of the Saturn lifespan, and and in very limited quantities and amounts. That's why when you go look for Saturn games now in the market, they're very, very expensive, especially if they're brand new, sealed, or with the case. You know what I mean? That's the reason for that. More Saturn than PlayStation, because a lot of the Saturn games were in limited runs. You see what I'm saying? Segaman, you heard what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said, man. I was trying to...
You're involved in the game. Sorry. Yeah, I said that's the reason why a lot of Saturn games to this day are probably a lot more expensive when you go look at them in the secondary market, because they were a lot more. They came in smaller numbers. There weren't as many made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember when I got this. I think it was in at the time was EB Games, in the school I was going to, and I believe when I picked it up, they literally got 3 copies of it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
It was just like when I got House of the Dead 1 for the Saturn, and when I got Redoubled His Effort to Capture You. And when I got Panzer Dragoon Orta, or Saga rather, the RPG, they literally took it out the box, and there was just 1 copy that was received by them. Oh, and Resident Evil. Resident Evil 1, he literally he was unloading, right, in the store, taking out, unpacking, and they had literally 1 copy of it.
Oh, okay.
Well, they were taking out like games for all the other consoles, and there was a whole bunch, a ton of them, for like the Nintendo 64 at the time, because that was still out. It says saved the rebel village or head for the castle. What do you think? Let's save the rebel village. Why not?
Yeah,
And
I do see the Fighting Force for the PlayStation 1, but I didn't know it was out for the Saturn.
you gotta level up and then press start. What happened?
I said I see Fighting Force for PlayStation, but I didn't know it was out for the Saturn.
Oh yeah. But again, like I said, Segaman, because the Saturn was much more limited in their productions of their games. Look how beautiful this looks. See?
Yeah, look at the backgrounds.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. But because of the fact that the games, the fact that the Saturn wasn't selling well, every time they had games come out, unless it was like an exclusive, like it was a third-party developer, like from Capcom or someone else,
Yeah.
they always came out in very, very small numbers.
Oh.
Like I remember Mr. Bone, that was a very small amount. What was the other? Hey,
I actually own Mr. Bones too. I actually own that.
I
man.
absolutely adore that game.
Yeah.
One of my top 10 games. Where am I? I don't see myself. Where am I?
You here? Where are you?
Oh, there I am. I got lost in translation. Mr. Bones, right? Alongside this game here, alongside Clockwork Knight 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Astal, Panzer Dragoon.
Astal, yeah.
1 and 2 in the saga. You know what game I used to like too? The one based on the cartoon Skeleton Warriors.
Yeah.
That's another one. I mean those games. Dark Savior or Landstalker on Saturn was another great game.
Landstalker. I never seen that one.
Yeah. It's like RPG, and then you had like free roaming. Kind of like an over the head, kind of like an over the head camera, but not like not really over the head, like semi over the head. The camera was a different camera style, but I don't know how to explain it.
Was it like a top-down fighting game, or?
No, it was an RPG, but it was free roaming. Like the combat was free roaming. Like it wasn't like the combat wasn't done like. The combat wasn't done where you like turn-based only. It wasn't like that either. Let me see. There we go.
Man, she falls a lot.
Yeah, because she's...
Look at that.
That's because... Wait. You're playing as her, right?
Yeah.
That's odd. Why does it fall? The parallax scrolling for this game, I feel, is limited compared to others. But that's because this game in the foreground, or in the front ground rather, you had the ability to go from the front to middle to the back. And that's why they eliminate the parallax scrolling. Because it's done in layers. And you're able to move in those layers within the front of the game. The first front layers of the game. So you never bought this game at all, huh? Until years later?
No, it was no. I don't. Well, on here, I don't have it physically.
Oh, you never bought it ever?
Huh?
You never bought it ever? Like you never even found it on a thrift store on the cheap? Is what you're saying?
Only on 360 I bought this.
Yeah, this game is a 360 back compact game, but by the way, peoples, and it supports auto HDR. It's a very beautiful thing. I think
it's real expensive now.
I think that's why it's looking extra vibrant. Yeah.
Game's like $300, and that's only the import. That's not even the U.S. version.
Oh, the import. The import might be more though, to be honest. Cause some of
I looked at it.
Some
it's 200.
For what? For the American version?
On Amazon, the import's $200 something.
How much is the American version?
I think it was more than that. It's
was it?
Sometimes, yeah.
Now remember.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Now to the audience, remember the Saturn games that were import.
Yeah.
They came in regular CD-based cartridge size for the CDs, like the smaller ones, but the trim was like gold, and it said Sega Saturn on it. On the American ones was the bigger jewel cases that look almost like little bookshelves or booklets, like a little book.
Right now.
And then it was white. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Right now, the Guardian Heroes from Japan import is $315.
Wow. Shit.
$315.
And how you gonna say
that's the import?
Take the woods to the castle, storm the castle head on. Avoid.
Is there one called Blazing Heroes?
Settle. Blazing Heroes.
Saturn.
Settle.
Yeah, Blazing Heroes. I'm actually looking at it.
Why does it sound so familiar? Blazing Heroes. Well, what I was gonna say was that boy, that now you can do yours.
Oh, okay.
So, this is like where we upgrade with the points.
Yeah, I was trying to look and see where that was at Guardian Hero. I'm actually not seeing the U.S. version of Guardian Heroes on there, man. I just did Japanese import. Wow.
Oh, we're getting rocked. We're getting tight. I thought that was just a cutscene, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So now, we're in the woods, but it looks like they burned it down. And it's possessed or something. So there's not even a listing for the American version, huh? Is that what that is? Oh.
Huh?
So there's not even a listing for the American version.
Nope.
Wow.
But I seen it once. I know it was expensive.
And for the audience, you guys, we're actually playing this via the backward compat on the Xbox Series X, because you know your backwards compatibility moves forward and with you, and we're playing it online. So, go figure. The 360 version. They only did a handful of Saturn games for 360 or brought them out.
Oh yeah.
But I think, you know, Fighting Vipers is one. Stay Alive or not? So they're getting, you know, Sonic R. No. Sonic. Which one was it? I think it's Sonic CD, right? No, that was the one for the Sega CD. That's also available.
What was it?
Sonic CD is it was the one for the Sega CD, the Sonic CD that's on Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah.
And then they have Virtual On. That's another dope game with the fighter with the mechs.
Virtual On, yeah.
Yeah, the arcade one.
Uh-huh.
You know which one it is.
Virtual On's with the mechs.
Yeah, the fighter with the mechs, yeah.
Yeah, I have that on 360.
Look at my man's grill, and then his lips, and then his jawline, and
man, you got some big ass lips.
And the cheekbones. Look at him.
He looks like the dude from Fat Albert.
Yes. Yeah, from Fat Albert. Yeah. Hey, you know what I really enjoyed? I really liked that Afro Samurai game, based off the animation and anime. But they did a part 2 that only came out, I believe, was to, I want to say PS3, but it might have been PS4 in the beginning. But it was so bad. It was so bad, the game, that people asked for refunds, I believe, and they took it out the store, and it never came out to any other console.
Really?
Yeah, that's what, for what I understood or something like that. or it didn't sell so well, or something like that, that they just took it out. So I wish I would have gotten to play it because I never did.
You know what? He bought the Sega Saturn demo disc. They actually sell on here. Some of them are $30 or $40. The demo disc.
The demo disc? Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy if you think about it.
I think Sega Saturn is one of the most expensive to collect for.
Well, it's because of what I told you, and so is TurboGrafx. Because since they didn't sell a lot, the production and the availability for both of them is very limited. And the older the console gets, the more years that go by, the worse it is. Because the availability was just it's not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It says take off your shirts. What?
He-Bot, have you ever heard of Guardian Force?
Guardian Force for what? For the Saturn?
Yeah, it's an import, man. You know how much this is? It's $872.
No, I can't say that I do, but it's probably one of those.
800.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy.
$800.
Well, you know that's because the people that sell on eBay, obviously, and on Amazon, those are secondary sellers. Those are people that own the game, and they put the price that they want. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what it's supposed to cost. But again, I'll say it again. The availability is just getting smaller and smaller because of the fact that the games, they didn't produce a lot of them. A lot of these games, they stopped production fast, and there wasn't a lot of copies of them made. So it's like I told you, when I got Ranger X, it's another awesome little game. And Amok,
that's a good game.
And I got a game called Amok. AMOK, where you were in a submarine underneath the water. Another game that you didn't see a lot of.
Amok?
Yeah.
I think I have that. Is that Dreamcast?
No, Saturn. We're just talking strictly Saturn right now.
Okay, Amok.
Was
that a shoot 'em up?
It was like a shooter with a submarine, but you were underneath the water.
Yeah, I seen that. It's very expensive.
Good game, but again, when I bought mine, there was like one. Just like Burning Rangers. Burning Rangers was so dope because it was firefighters that were futuristic in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It says the world never moved on. You dragged it off in a wheel. It says the spirit that looks at defiance was the last expression she wore.
And they want $50 for Fighting Force on PlayStation 1.
For Fighting Force? Ew,
yeah.
No, that game's horrible. That game's not even worth $5. To be honest, it's a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
But it's bad. It played really horrendous. But they made a sequel. They made a sequel. Look at this.
Yep.
I remember the warrior as we fought to his last breath. The night your family was destroyed. Scores of my men died on his blade before he expired on the outskirts of town. Trying to do the movie style voice. It says how very fitting that he should lead the last of you to me today. I see that he is more than just some hero whose bone washed whites with history. He was a brave man who tried to protect my family. The old king said before he died, "Mine is the kingdom of swords. These crimes, too, shall be avenged by the sword." As a precaution, I ordered my soldiers to gather every scrap of steel and iron. Not one sword in the realm has such power, but it appears I gave up too quickly. the most powerful weapon in existence, unearthed by a ragtag band of nobodies. Ha! Had they and the sword found me instead of you, all of us would have been spared so that much misery. Explain yourself, Cannon. You already wielded absolute power in all but name, right? That's what it says. What's so important that you had to destroy my family? Uh-oh. Is that a dude or a girl? I think it's a girl, right?
That's a girl.
It looks like she got boobs, but remember,
That's a girl.
In the Japanese art style, a lot of the way they draw certain characters, it's like they're very androgynous looking. Androgynous is like they look very feminine, even though they're dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, man.
It says, "Did you know our world was once home to 3 races?" Wow, just 3? Heaven and Earth were ruled by 2 warring tribes called the Skyborn and the Earth Blood, as they fought viciously to eradicate each other. The 3rd race, our race, could only cower in fear. Uh-oh. But that changed when the Skyborn gave humans a gift. Power to see nature's working. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go.
So grateful.
What's the scenario?
It's so grateful. We, for this majestic logic or magic, we chose to help the Skyborn. We battled the Earth Blood at the cost of many human lives. In the end, we did what Skyborn would never and could, and cast the Earth Blood into darkness. Looks like the guys from Mortal Kombat in the back that are floating in one of the levels. Remember Mortal Kombat 1?
Yeah, what's it? Yeah, in the back.
Yeah, they're like purple looking.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah,
Mortal
yeah,
Kombat 2, yeah.
But did the Skyborn thank us? Ah! Oh, how the jealous fiends thanked us. Fearful of our gods-like powers, they cast us into the same dark prison as the Earth Blood. We who gave our lives for them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is really long dialogue right now. Only the magically uninclined were spared and sparking a dreary epoch called the Age of the Sword. I'm reading from far away, so it's kind of blurry for me.
Yeah.
So I keep.
I wanted an entry for the moment I could escape my
prison and restore magic to the world that sorely lacked it. Raw! He looks pissed. Pissed, ladies and gentlemen. He's pissed. I feel like we're watching more dialogue and story than playing.
That dude with the beard, he kind of looks like that dude for Xbox.
Oh,
tech dude.
Oh, Jay Allard.
Yeah, yeah, he looks like him a little bit there.
Look, I subjugated the Earthblood's leader, and in time clawed my way back out to freedom. But when I told the royal family of the great power men had lost, they scoffed. The ungrateful 2 fools deserve to be killed and replaced with us, my family, are puppets for some vendetta. Vendetta? Don't be petty. Humanity wants and needs this. I warned you, again, choosing sword over sorcery, young Valgar. The king at least knows better than to try and pull his own strings. Father, in concluding with you, no, he would never. Oh! He just burned his own son!
He lit him up.
He lit his ass up! The parental guidance is advised. My business now is with the band who found the sword. That woman has led you astray and put your lives. Oh my God, I pressed it too fast. Soon, a world balanced by magic will be upon us. Why not think about your fellow men and fight on behalf of the future we all deserved? Oh crap, look at that list. It says you're insane. What you did was wrong. You deserve peace. Was force the only option? You did what you had to. Let's say you're insane. Oh crap, he's gonna get mad. No! I'm a visionary. The world will spin the way I want it to spin. With magic, humanity will become the strongest race of all time. My man got the skeleton armor on a magic spell. Impossible! Nothing can break that spell. What are you? It says, I shall pick you apart until I find my answers. Oh, we're fighting. You see, he caught me off guard already. Look, we gotta run behind him. Say,
oh, she's falling, man.
Shot.
Let me get up there. I shouldn't have been that character, brother.
I like my green dude. I felt like when you played this that first time when we did the test run.
Okay, I'm fighting air right now.
Right, Segaman? I feel like when we played it the first time, remember when we did the test run? I feel like we fought a lot more instead of the dialogue.
We did.
This time around, you see how the experience is different? This time around is more of the story.
Fight the air.
Than fighting, yeah. Yeah, when me and Segaman played this the first time for the test run to make sure that it was working correctly online and everything, and our brothers from 100 and 6 Layer and Flip Money and even I think it was 108 Dragons. Shout outs to them. They all jumped in the party. It was pretty funny. It felt like we were playing for a while, right? But it felt like we had more fighting. Look what it says. Fools, you will regret siding with the Skyborn. My son looks crazy. Look at this. Ye who sees magic evil for what they are, come to me. Enter my realm without fear, and I have been waiting. Oh, here we go. There we go. Very nice.
Do your powers.
I leveled up, cuh. Hold on. What is that? This Thursday's the Mortal Kombat trailer? For the new movie? Nice. The new Mortal Kombat movie trailer is this week, ladies and gentlemen. On Thursday, and that is the people who did the raid.
Hope it's good.
Oh, the raid is fucking phenomenal. You ever seen the raid, the movie?
No, I'm talking about the new Mortal Kombat.
Well, it's the same director that did Raid 1 and 2.
I don't think I've seen Raid.
Oh, you gotta see them. That was a fantastic movie. It's fantastic. Be at peace, humans. You stand in the skyborn, heavenly realm, far above the earth. Oh, we're in the sky now. I summon you to my side so that you might understand our intentions. While battling Canon, you must have sensed the wicked forces at work. You know what? Sorry, I can't keep reading all this. We will... No, it's too much because... We want the viewers to see us play. Look at this.
That's the thing about their games. They have too much dialogue.
Yeah, man. That's the one fault or factor that I think makes you... I don't know. For me, it kind of takes me out of the experience. Because I feel like I'm doing more reading than...
It's too long.
Than interacting. But then you have people... Press the button, Segaman, so we can continue. But then you have people that legitimately just love... playing the games and reading all at the same time. They really like that. It doesn't, like for me, that takes me out. You know how people are like, oh, but if it has too many cutscenes, it takes me out of the experience. You know, but yet when it comes to dialogue, they're okay with it. Like for me, that feels kind of like, well, don't you think it's a little hypocritical?
Hmm?
I'd be saying to myself, don't you think that's a little bit hypocritical? and they say, oh,
Yeah.
if it has too much cutscenes or even let's say QuickTime events, you know, the QTs, they'll say things like, oh, but I feel like it takes me out of the immersion. But yet they'll sit there and play a Japanese style game like this, right? And you see that dialogue after dialogue after dialogue for, you know, at least a good 20 to 15 minutes in between levels. And they're like, oh no, that doesn't take me away. That makes me feel immersed because I'm discovering the characters and the story. I was like, shouldn't the same thing apply when you're looking at a cutscene showing you the story in an animated form or in a cutscene form? You know what I mean? Or even with the QTE, that you're at least getting the story, but you're getting the story as you're playing. You see what I'm saying? You have more limited control, but at least you're still playing. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to reading and pressing more dialogue and more dialogue. That's kind of why me personally, I never liked the turn-based. Because although the strategy of it is really what makes it fun, because it's kind of like playing checkers or checkers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just, for me, that kind of is what kills it, because I want to have control of my battles and accessibility with all my controls and my button layouts and combos and stuff, you know what I mean? I don't like picking it and just pressing the button and it plays out and I just look at it while you see the attack or what happens, even, or the block or the defense, you know what I mean? Or even the magic, for that matter. That's why I never really enjoyed playing turn-based too much. I mean, even if a game had a little bit of it with real-time combat, that would be kind of cool too for me, in my opinion, you know? So, you know, it's one of those things. Like, for example, right now, I'm playing the successor, right? Or I started playing not too long ago. The successor of, remember ActRaiser for the Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
The game ActRaiser, you remember that. It was a big classic. It was a hack and slash action adventure. You remember it? Or you don't remember it?
It's hard to hear. It's funny, man.
No, what I'm saying is, do you remember the ActRaiser game on Super Nintendo?
ActRaiser.
It was like a hack and slash adventure game.
I think so.
He was a Blue Knight looking character. Very, very popular. Very good game. For the time.
I think I do remember that.
I mean, you might even own the fucking game, for Christ's sake, as far as you know. But anyway, there's a game that came out from Sega, right? And it's the spiritual successor for ActRaiser. It's called Soul Sephiroth, I think, and it's on the Xbox Store. It came out like a couple of months ago, maybe a year ago, actually.
Yeah.
And I started to play it, right? And you start off with action hack and slash, but then you got to do segments, right? Where where it plays out like a strategy RTS. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it has the combination of both of those genres and gameplay in the game mixed together, so it kind of makes it feel fresh and different, because although it's a action adventure with RPG elements, hack and slash, it also has elements of different types of genre, like the RTS segments. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. I feel like they should do that more with games nowadays, to kind of have people that play other type of genres, or that, let's say, only play like a RTS type game, actually dive in and try and play like another type of game. You know what I mean? Like a hack and slash, like a hack and slash adventure game, because it has RTS elements in it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like they should do that more often, you know. But yeah, this is one of my favorite, or not ninja, but gems from Saturn era. I'm glad they re-brought it out for the 360 when they did. I don't even think, to be honest, I don't even think. And I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please, anyone correct me down in the comments below when you see it later, or when you see it now. But I believe I really believe that I think this game only came out physically, or that hold on one second. It's time to kick some earth, but humankind needs us here. Let's stay here. Let's see. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
You're talking about how you wish they would make more games. I guess.
Yeah. I was saying that I wish they made more games that are like that, to have people that, let's say, like RTSs, take a dive and play something like this, like that's a hack and slash, because it has our RTS elements in it. For example, as an example, I think that would be a good model and approach with games now today. If they implemented it more. Just for the sake to see how it would work out. As long as it makes sense, obviously, and as long as it plays good. Because you don't want to do something like that and then it doesn't play very well, and then you're like, oh, this is kind of lame, and you don't want to do that either, and take people out of the experience so much that they don't even want to play it, and then they never want to support any type of games like that ever again either. I guess that's really the double-edged sword with the situation, Let's see. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out what lane is better for me. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out what lane is better to stay on as far as when we're fighting. In the middle, in the back, all the way in the back, or in the front. Because it seems like all the action's happening in the second lane, the middle lane. Right? Oh.
Yeah. We beat this pretty fast that time.
Right. But again, for to be kind of honest and fair, we're playing it on easy, and the reason why me and Segaman chose to play it on easy was for the sake of the stream, to make it a lot faster, because as you can see right now, we're playing it on easy, and we're already about an hour in to gameplay. You know what I mean? About an hour in, I've actually streaming, so that should tell you. But I think we're close, because it was like I think there's only like 28 or 30 levels, and this is level 25. But that's because we're skipping levels based on the decisions we make. And I believe there's a way that you can play the game, if I'm not mistaken. I believe the way you can play the game, if I'm not mistaken, where you can play it. Go ahead.
It's a really fun game to play with a buddy. It's a really good game.
Yeah, you can play this up to 4 players. For the people that don't know, it's a 4-player co-op.
That's cool. 4 players? That's good.
Mm-hmm. And this was in the Saturn era. There's games today that we can't even play 4 players, online.
Like if you could have one person.
I think even Battletoads, right? The one that just came out, I don't think it supports 4-player online or co-op.
Probably. I don't think it is.
I think it's just local, right? Because I played that with my boys, and we haven't gone back to it. And we're literally at the very end of the game and never get back to it. We need to go back to beat it, because we haven't finished it. Because we started it together, and I said, let's finish it together so that we don't, so one of us doesn't get ahead, and then we know what happens, and then it kind of ruins the experience for us.
Yeah.
So we haven't finished it, so we got to kind of finish that too. But yeah, even Battletoads does not support any type, I think, of online co-op in the game. I'm almost 100% sure. Oh, pressed it again. It's a dream on. Let's see. Thank goodness for those wimps. Wow, he called them wimps. You saw that? That's crazy. I wonder if we can beat this game within an hour and 15. Probably. Be gone. Man, oh man, I wish I had some sound because that way it would have been a little bit more excitement probably in the background. But I think us talking is pretty fun.
Huh?
I think us talking is pretty cool because they can hear us loud and clear and see what's going on. It says we have one person watching, but I don't know if that's my wife, you, or a glitch.
Does she watch? Is she watching?
Yeah, she'll put it on to watch just to support, but she's not really paying attention, kind of speaking, you know what I mean? Just so I can get a view or something. She'll do that from time to time.
Yeah.
You know, just to be nice and support me. She says a lot of times the same thing.
That's another thing. We need to have more people support what we do, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, she does the same. She says the same thing. A lot of people tell me. A lot of the things that you guys tell me, she tells me, like, I don't understand how you being, because she sees the stupidity when I show it to her. She says, I don't understand how you being so savvy and so intelligent in this space and knowing so much and doing so many different things that you try to how you don't get. Meanwhile, I see you showing me people that do all these things that are just dumb. They don't know anything. You know, or that don't know, or they just are, you know, rinse, wash, and repeat type of style, you know what I mean? Oh, I think because I was white, I was working backwards, if you notice. Oh, what a bum. Oh, he rocked this Segaman.
This guy is a really, very
look.
Weird character.
You know what he reminds me of? Look at his demeanor and look at his animation. He reminds me of Dimitri from Darkstalkers.
Yeah, he does. He does.
With you know, but without the badassism. Yo, he's rocking us, dude. We are getting freaking destroyed. But he's being look. He's kind of an OP character though. He doesn't let you hit him. Look. Oh, that's funny.
He got some really weird moves.
Oh yeah. He looks a little bit.
He's really out there.
He looks a little fruit salad. Fruit salad. He looks like a little fruit salad.
Oh man.
At least we can take comfort in knowing.
Getting that snow, buddy.
I think I might get it because today it was like 60 degrees. I'm like, what? It was
Not down here.
It was just below zero. It was just almost below zero with the windshield factor just the other day. And today was almost 60. I'm like, oh, hell no. We're getting another snowstorm. Like, we're getting another snowstorm. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, man.
I do not want to hear it. Look, I believed that all vulgars wanted was an age of peace. Wow. We look so majestic up there. Oh, look at this. I think we got the real ending.
This the real ending?
I
don't think we've seen this one.
I think so. Let me see. Well,
yeah, this was enjoyable.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm not sure if all the endings were meant to be their own thing or if there was such a thing as a real ending. Well, yeah. Wow, look at that. We did finish it. Wow, that's crazy.
Guardian Heroes, baby.
That's nuts. So yeah,
they even
guys,
have Guardian Heroes Remix where you can, or I guess it's different graphics, I guess.
Right.
I mean, you played the original.
This took us out like big time. So, guys, yeah, there you have it. You can play it with the original graphics. This is actually the very original, like screen for the Saturn version.
Yeah.
You know, let's just, you know what? Let's just show them real quick, if you don't mind.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, we'll do new game. No, we're gonna show it. like we're gonna go in the... Are you still in there, me, Segaman? Segaman, are you there?
Yeah, we're just showing them real quick, right?
Yeah, look at the difference, as you can see. I don't know, though. Are you still in there with me, though, in the game?
I think I am. I should be. I didn't leave. I'm in here.
I'm just trying to... Are you controlling the girl?
I'm not even. I'm just at the beginning. I'm at the main screen.
Oh, okay.
You must just be in there.
Yeah, I must be in there. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, look at the difference. This is actually the graphics and how it looked like on the Saturn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to show them real quick. Then you go outside. And yeah, for sure. Wow.
Yeah, when you look at it with the new graphics, it's more like looks like they're drawn in.
Well,
like
they're a lot smoother.
Yeah.
It's like they're a lot smoother, the graphic quality. You see what
I think it looks pretty good like that, but it's always better to enjoy the original. You know.
Well, the original is very pixelated. I'm looking at it right now. I'm just trying to play a little bit so they can kind of get an idea and the gist of how it is. See? So you know tomorrow is the Nintendo Direct.
What's that?
You know tomorrow's the Nintendo Direct, so tomorrow they're going to be talking about a bunch of things, even though they might show like 1 or 2 games, or another Mario, or another Zelda, and then, or another Pikmin, and then we're going to talk about it like for 100 days, like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The real Nintendo Direct.
Do they have any? Are they bringing out any new games at all, or?
I mean, a lot of their games are in the back burner. Oh.
Yeah.
You left. It says you left my party.
Oh.
Oh no.
Hundreds online now. He must have just got off work.
Probably. Yeah, probably. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you guys real quick. I just wanted to show you guys real quick what the game looked like with the original graphics. But if I go to the main menu, it's gonna go to the pause screen on Twitch. So Segaman, say goodbye and tell them where they can find you. You know.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us, man. Me and He-Bot just like to do these retro shows, man. Retro gaming, man. Just taking us back. You know what I mean? You know. Maybe something you never tried or played before. You might want to purchase this game, on your Xbox, man, and play it with a buddy. It's a great game, you know what I mean? It's always good to do Retrobots with He-Bot, man, and thanks for joining us, man. You can always find me on YouTube at Segaman101 and on Saturdays with my brother He-Bot on Game Talk with Segaman.
With Segaman. Yeah, man. No, the pleasure's always mine. And this is our segment. This is Retrobots, just like everything else we do. This was an idea that we had a while back. I had it even with Master Chief, to be honest. And, and shout outs to him because I barely get to speak to him online. But the idea was to bring in brothers like Segaman, like myself, and we join together and play a retro game. Talk about it, the history, and kind of just, give people kind of like an idea of what it was for us when we first played it and things like that. While playing, we're talking, so it works as a little podcast, it works as a little gameplay stream, and as a chill out hangout between us and a party chat. So it fills in 3 different spots at once. So, I hope this is one of many that we can do later on or moving forward, and that you guys can enjoy it and come and check each and every one of them out. So this is your boy He-Bot, your action figure enthusiast and video game aficionado, signing off. You guys can find me, as always, here on Xbox Live, under He-Bot 8, on the Nintendo Switch, on He-Bot 8, on the PlayStation, PSN Now, You can find me under Alf Fell from Sky. On Twitter, I'm under He-Bot Powerful Gamer. And on Instagram, it's C_respect. Leave a thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think down below. And also, if you guys, are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed yourself, and if you subscribe, thank you. Because I know you didn't have to, but since you did, it means the world to me. And remember, you become part of our family. And as always, you guys know, if you ever want to help me out in any way, shape, or form with the channel, with any type of help, because you guys like what we do and want to see us grow, and you from the kindness of your heart, you know how to do it. It's all down in the description below. Just like you want to help by, with any donations, just shoot me a DM on any of the social medias, or even on Xbox or whatever, and we'll work out the particulars, guys. So this is your boy He-Bot and Segaman signing off. Until the next one, guys. Love you very much. I'll see you guys then.
Peace,
Bye-bye.
guys. Peace.